Welcome to Oblivion Games in Tampa, Florida. We've got Team Oblivion member Ryan Fletcher, aka the Block Dragon God.
Yeah, don't stutter over it.
Block
Say
Dragon
it,
God.
say it like you mean it. Nah, I've been usurped. There was a gentleman that made it into top cut and did far better than I did. I saw him play a couple times. He was playing at the top tables for quite a while, so it was good to see that. Good to see the deck is not dead. Good to see that the title or the mantle of Block Dragon God can be carried by someone else.
A lot of similar decks on the stream too this weekend. I saw a lot like not the same as your build, but kind of different takes of the same similar strategy. So that was interesting to see.
Yeah, it seems like there's been just one ideal strategy most of the time, and then different ways to get there. But I still feel like I had the most consistent way to get there. I did try and I kind of attacked some self-evident ideas in this deck where it's I guess I'll explain as I'm going on, but
okay.
the weekend was certainly interesting. Vegas, the convention center was huge, it was massive. My team was Nicholas Ortiz and Sebastian Todd. We kept joking the whole entire weekend that Sebastian Todd's going to drop the most amount of matches out of anyone else, and he didn't. He got there. He bricked a lot, though, which was sad because there's a lot of times in one of our losses, both Nick and Sebastian lost before my match was even close to being done. We just finished our game 2. And, Sebastian's game 1, he won the die roll. He just passed. He couldn't make any plays, and it was very unfortunate. Then Ed Exception just Boral Sword killed him with, Scrap Recycler. But there's been some small changes to the deck. The deck honestly performed horribly at the event. I remember I bricked numerous amounts of times, and the deck was just not with me this weekend, or this previous weekend. I remember I showed Ortiz one of my hands, and then he was like, I think that's the worst hand I've ever seen anyone have in that deck. And then he looks back over and he's like, how'd you make a Curious out of that? And I'm just like, I don't know. But it ended up getting ashed anyway, so I ironically won that game. Wow. So, yeah, no, the guy bricked as well, so thank God for Spiral being a deck. But without further ado...
Well, what was your overall record and what was the team's overall record?
So I had 2 matches, I had 3 matches where they were just straight inconclusive. One is when we lost, or both Ortiz and Sebastian lost. That was round 7. And then actually both round 8 and 9, they won before I finished my match, which my round 8, I think it was very much in my favor because he went and activated Dark Roar, I flipped Imperial, and after that he's like, oh, I'd evenly in hand, I just activated Dark Roar no more first. I'm like, okay, sure. And then my round 9, I had 2 side cards in my hand that were absurd, and I was 100% winning the game. Some Magician Souls ditch a Judgment to try and make plays and got nowhere. Then had Droll in his hand, and he was gonna Droll me, and then he had Droll coming up next. So he just had no plays coming. So I was 100% fine. And then I hard lost and almost got disqualified at one point, but that's a different story for a different day. But anyway, so I think our end record was X2, so 7-2. And we finished 25th. So 14th through 16th place had the same record as us. We unfortunately just got bubbled. So
before this turns into a Team Samurai deck profile with the long lead in.
I appreciate you explaining that is because I don't watch anyone's content except our own.
Hey.
So, yeah.
All right, let's get to the cards.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So, obviously, 2 Tour Guide, Mismatch Rarity because I love it. Shout out JN for that one. The card's disgusting. Well, I should say this. It is and it isn't, because there's a lot of times when you're doing your combo and you get in Saryuja and you've already normal summoned and you see one of these. And it's great, this just gets put back. And I was playing the 2 Rhino. I cut it down to 1 Rhino and 1 Sangan. Sebastian Sanchez gave me the idea for that one, where I could search out. He suggested a Crusadia monster, and then it hit me like a ton of breaks when I thought of this card, where I can search this card off Sangan, special it, and then it won't summon a monster back. So it essentially turns off the summon effect, but I can still special it from hand because that's a summoning condition.
Loses the drawback. That's cool.
Exactly. So I thought that was a really interesting thing. And I've been trying that out for about a month or so now, ever since Tour Guide came back to 2. And it's proven really good because this becomes essentially Cherubini Dante, all by Tour Guide self. So that's really strong. Then still 1 Edge Gem Savers and still the 4 Burning Abyss monsters, the 2 best ones, the 1 so-so one, and the one I always want to cut, but don't have the balls to. except one time, and then I regretted it. Like, I'll side out this card, then hate myself for siding out the card. Yeah, not really much to say. There was that 3-axis build that I think ran these three, and I've been saying it for quite some time. I was like, Cherubini's such an absurd card, and the fact that I can tutor back a Link too. Like, it's just an absurd engine that I wish other people would try and abuse, but I guess it took this long to happen. So, but the Mateo's build was absolutely disgusting, and that was like huge ups to that guy. Something that I do kind of want to change in other lists is Mathematician. It doesn't seem as good anymore with the 2 target. I was at a time cutting it to 2, but this event I just decided just to bump it back up to 3. I kept bricking. Still the 1-0 line. It's still really good just as a 1-card Cherubini to make your plays. Not really much to say on that. I did draw it a lot. Like, I drew this card like almost every other hand, it seemed like. I got it Europrint at the event, so I probably just need to find like a rare at this point. There's something to change out. Maybe it's cursed. Still one of the best cards in the deck. Gallus has essentially 5 functions. If you watched my other profiles, you'll understand all 5. If you haven't, go back and watch them. We need the views. This card's disgusting. I never went in time with it, though, at this event. We had that extra 5 minutes, so it never really came up. Tracker Wielder. These cards I don't think will really ever come out. They serve the purpose of essentially being a Burning Abyss monster, because you can just drop them from your hand for free. They don't really have other effects. I've seen people read them, and I always say, if that has another effect, let me know, because I certainly don't use it. Oh, shout out to my round 9 opponent, to when I go, Mathematician, send this, because I scooped when he went drones. I go, Mathman, send this. He reads the card, and he sits there thinking. Then I'm thinking of that little snark thing I say, where it's, if it has another effect, let me know. I didn't say it, and then he DD Crows it. And I was like, this is hilarious. He is just under a rock. So he DD Crows my O-Lion, and I proceed to absolutely dong in his mouth.
Like, what are you going to do, summon Ib? Like that old combo build I used to play?
I don't know. I don't know what was going through his head. He had no clue what I was playing. He saw the Mathman dump it, so his mind just went places my mind wouldn't.
Interesting.
But yeah, 3-block dragon. This card's disgusting. I haven't figured it out now. This is obviously the deck. 1 Fossil Dyna. Shout out Ryan Fletcher for this innovation. Still really strong, still absurd. Europrint now. Oh god, yes.
Jim Cook.
Who's that?
The GX guy who played Fossil.
Oh, Jim Crocodile Cook.
Yeah.
Shout out Shirley. 3 Gigantas. The logic behind this is that I want 4 targets. I always want to be searching 2 cards with this, not 1. And you have to have another level 4 to search out an 8. So I'd never want to have less. And then the logic on Rock Spirit, I think I beat this like a dead horse, where there's never been one scenario in the 10 months, almost 11 months of me playing this deck where I wish I had Rock Spirit. Yeah. Never once. Literally never once.
Gigantus blows up back row.
Yeah, no. There's never
1900.
There's never one time I've ever won it. 1 Giant Rex, it's still really strong. It's just a card you can get really lucky with and mill it, or summon it off a Star Yuja, then get double value. Speaking of cards that summon off Star Yuja that get double value, for the Curious play are these 2 cards. Like, this is obviously one of my favorite plays to summon off Star Yuja, because it immediately chain blocks the Curious and it gets another monster. This card functionally is 2 monsters now. Glow Bulb. Nappies really isn't that good right now. It's kind of sad to say. Like, it was almost like a win condition, setting it or making it against Striker, but Striker's no longer really played. And the fact that Shadal's play Super Poly just kind of like shits on Nappies, so that's really unfortunate. And I have thought about cutting it and like doing the Durgares Cyberstein combo to make Exterio, but that's kind of crappy thinking, because your combo is literally non-existent game 3. You can't make Exterio, so it's like, why would I want to play a card that essentially gives my opponent the win game 3? 5 Dangers. I still play this one. It's still really strong if they hit it. You're tutoring out one of these, and it's still just really nice, because the more you take away from the dangers, the less this one becomes good, because you're milling cards. So this one, if it gets rid of like these, then you no longer have this to summon. So if you hit this card literally just became a -1, and that's not ideal. The Clowns, they're still strong. This play hit me like a ton of bricks the other day, and it's so embarrassing to say that I've never once thought of doing this with Trick Clown, where it goes to the graveyard, and instead of summoning this out, I summon this out and just make the Nappies that way. It's so embarrassing.
Yeah, targets any performance.
Exactly.
Wild.
It's so embarrassing for me to say that. that it took me this long to. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. It's not the most impactful play, obviously, but it's still a play.
Right.
And it just goes to show, like, even though I've been playing this deck for so long, there's still new things that catch me off guard.
For sure.
Like I said, it's not the most impactful play, but it's neat. Card I added back in recently, Sulcius. I really like this card, and I really want to like it more with Chaos Betrayer, but I just can't bring myself to really keep it in, so I'm probably going to cut this guy again. Shrudo is obviously absurd. Sea Archiver, I feel, is just so lackluster. Like, it's neat when you have it, and there's no real reliable way to get to it, bar Cherubini, or sending it off Curious, which also neither of those plays will happen if the deck's playing itself correctly. Which, I mean, it's always one thing to plan for incorrect hands, but I think this is it's just lackluster. These were horrible, and I hate myself for playing them. It should have been seconds late, and a week before it was seconds late, and I was just bricking constantly. These cards are horrible. Don't play these cards. Just play seconds late. Don't overcomplicate the deck like I try to do. And that was my logic for the longest time. Just don't overcomplicate it. Just do what the deck does, and with the amount of your drawing, milling, and everything like that, you will see it seconds late either in grave or hand. So just play seconds late. Levier, Dante, Beatrice. This should probably be cut. Tingirsu. This it was okay. It came up every once in a while just to help protect against Lightning Storm if I didn't make this. So it's strong. I wasn't playing this card. I think this is Nightmare Unicorn. I just put this back in just because. Just to help out evenly matched, but at the event this was Nightmare Unicorn, which was horrible. Cherubini, standard. The card's disgusting. The card does 3 things, so it's disgusting. Cerberus is probably my favorite Nightmare just because it's Earth, different typing, help make the Curious. Phoenix, it's strong, helps make the Avermax. Curious and anything I need. Double Saryuja, I wish I could play like 4 of this card, but can't. Zero Boros, I've been playing this for quite some time now. I don't think any profiles will come out of me playing it, but it's just like the amount of banishing you do and the fact that someone clears your board. This is like, I think this card is so much better than Boros Sword. Like once someone has cleared your board, because you can just make this guy and he'll have infinite attack. And I know Boros Sword is just to help OTK, but this guy, just the amount of damage he can like impart on someone, and the fact that he can also just like wipe boards by himself. Like there was a round where someone did wipe my board, like they went evenly matched, and I slapped everything off the board but Fossil Dyna, and then he just summoned Quick Fix and passed. Or no, he summoned Scrapper Cycle and sent like drones or something like that, then passed. Then I normal summon Trick Clown, attack. Next turn I go, or he summons Quick Fix, equip Last Resort, so hopefully next turn you can start trying to get over the Dyna. Comes to my turn, I go summon Mathematician, send Farfa, banish the Fossil Dyna, and then make this guy, and have Trick Clown effect, summon himself back under this, banish everything, then start like bringing out Block Dragons and stuff and attack for game.
Wow.
So it's just, this card's disgusting. And then Appaloosa Nap Piece. This card rarely comes up, but you still have to play it. The Nap Piece is Nap Piece, so there's never really anything much to say. I have thought about cutting it, like I said, but the other options aren't as ideal. And I probably should be looking towards something that outs traps as well, like the Link Karibo in the future, but I've been rambling. This card was horrible. I sided that in, and this card right here, this should be a Lightning Storm, because I didn't have double evenly, and everyone thought I owned evenlies, and I said, nope, I do not. So these cards were supposed to be Lightning Storm and Pangertops were supposed to be evenlies, but it was, I hate these cards. These were so bad. I saw the Lightning Storm in my last round, and I saw it with Mystic Mine. And I was like, oh my god, I win this match. And then he goes to Magician's Soul Pass. So that kind of sucked. But yeah, 3 Mystic Mine. I know the sleeves are empty. I had to return them. I'm proud to say I do not own that card. The card was disgusting. Round 2, I went full combo. And that was game 1. Then game 2, he goes Caliga, Winda, and Cross Sheep. Then I just activate Mystic Mine, and he scoops. Just didn't have an out.
Wild.
The Griffin and Order. That's, I don't think, ever coming out of my extra deck. It's just so I can, side deck, so I can just do the Griffin combo to set this to play around Dark Roar. Yeah. And usually when I do that, they have evenly, and I don't have a trap negate, so it's really good. I recommend offing myself after I do that. 2 Phantasme. This card was actually really strong the whole entire weekend, so I'm proud to say about that. It was definitely a good call when they go like Barricade Board Blocker, and you just slap this down, get some cards, hopefully tutor into your Dark Roar. Just they make their Cross Sheep, you summon this. That's the bad one.
That's the Atlanta one.
Yep. 2 Dark Roar. I'm happy about this choice as well, just because I had the 3 Mystic Mine, so I wasn't really necessarily keen on having just like 3 and 3, so I decided to bump that down to 2. Twin Twister. It's Twin Twister. I'm scared of back row. I'm scared of Mystic Mine, so it definitely comes up. And then last card, Red Reboot. Horrible. Sided in once. Was useless. Yeah. So that's the list.
So you're planning on making some more changes, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Forward.
I definitely am. I wasn't pleased with how the deck played by any means this weekend. I was actually very upset about the hands I was drawing, and there was a lot of times where I would make like a very subpar board and just pass, and then just pray to God, or I would break a board, and it like the deck just felt like it was running out of steam way too quickly, and I didn't enjoy that. But yeah, unfortunately we bubbled 25th place. We were sitting there as they were calling out. They did the long pause for 16th, and our name wasn't there.
Any shout outs you want to give?
Team Oblivion, of course. Sean West behind the camera, Nelson right there because he's right there. Yeah, everyone on Team Oblivion, everyone on my team. I'm impressed that Sebastian Todd somewhat held his own. There were a little questionable plays here and there, so he didn't do as bad as we thought. He honestly had the same record as everyone else on the team. I think Nick won one more game than both of us, so yeah, nothing else really to say.
Awesome. Well, subscribe to the channel, click like on the video if you liked Ryan's profile, and if you want to see more Block Dragon BA profiles as he continues to develop and work on the deck,
then check back for Raul Ramos.
Yeah, come back to Raul Ramos and 2 geniuses on the same team.
One genius, Raul Ramos.
Oh, okay. Thanks for watching.
Yep.